I've got 4 comments to go through. EIDL preventing from growing business. Is bankruptcy the only option? My future and my credit, and God bless you guys. If your small business received a COVID economic injury disaster loan, the EIDL from the Small Business Administration, the SBA, during the pandemic, today's video is for you. And I'm Trevor, your EIDL expert, here with you today to review some comments we've received on YouTube. In the event you need assistance with your COVID EIDL, you can find all the resources we have available to you in the link in the description and the pinned comment below. And if you would take a moment to just hit that thumbs up and like, and please subscribe. More than 70% of folks who watch our videos and comment on our videos are not subscribed, so please take a moment to do that right now. Our first comment today is from ℬ𝒜𝒞𝒦𝒢ℛ𝒪𝒰𝒩𝒟𝒮. This spoke so deeply to me, dealing with shame, with the anxiety of what if on my future and my credit. So despite being a profitable business now, I can't seem to find a way to crawl out of this hole. I have recently discussed this comment in another video, but I wanted to focus on this again because we can't stress enough this concept that so many of you are struggling with, that if you fail to pay this loan, what are the consequences in the long term? And there are consequences. We've discussed those at length in our other videos, but the short version is if you default on a federal debt, in this case a COVID EIDL, your Social Security number will be marked in 2 internal federal systems. One is the DNP, or Do Not Pay. The other one is the CAVERS, or Credit Alert Interactive Verification Retrieval System. And at both of those systems, what the government does is if you apply for other types of federal funding, loans, grants, employment opportunities, contracting opportunities, then the agency that you're interacting with might discover you in one or both of these systems and may say to you at that time, we cannot lend you money, we cannot hire you, we cannot do business with you, cannot give you the grant. This is an unforeseen circumstance. And when I say unforeseen, we can see it right now, but you can't know if and when. I know a lot of folks tell me on the 1-hour consulting calls, they're like, oh, but I'll never take another loan from the government. And I say to them, never say never, because you never know. Even somebody at my age, I don't know what might happen 3 years from now, 10 years from now with my business, with needing to interact with the government. But again, what I strive to advise you folks and the folks on the 1-hour calls is you can't focus on that future consequence as a something that you have control over today. You don't. You have to focus on the moment of truth, which is where your business is right now. And in this case, Shane says, I can't seem to find a way to crawl out of this hole. I've been so hesitant to go this route. And Shane was specifically commenting on one of our bankruptcy videos we did a few months ago. I get it. You know, there's shame, there is a lot of emotion, there's anxiety, there's the what if, but you can't control the what if a year from now, 3 years from now, 20 years from now. What you can control is the fact that right now the SBA is giving you practically 0 options if your business runs into difficulty. And that option currently, as of July 2025, is the Short-Term Payment Assistance Program, which replaced the previous Payment Assistance Program. And the short-term program only lowers your payment by 50% and only for a 6-month period. That's not really valid assistance, in my opinion. Therefore, the only remaining option is to consult with an attorney and consider a bankruptcy. So when you say, Shane, my future and my credit, the future part, you can control today what you can control today, Shane, which is the decision on, are you going to pay this debt and recover your business to a level where you can manage the payments? Are you going to continue to struggle to try to find a way to crawl out of this hole? Or are you going to find an attorney and file a bankruptcy and take this loan and set it aside and move on with your business, with your life, and the future consequences will happen or they won't, and you'll cross that bridge when you get to it. The other issue I wanted to address here with Shane's comment is this idea of credit. Now, we've done previous videos about credit. We have a credit guidebook if you want to purchase that. But specifically, I want to point out to people that The COVID EIDL does not appear on your credit report. Right now, when you're making payments, it does not appear on your credit report. Could it appear on your credit report if you default and the loan goes to U.S. Treasury for collections? That is a possibility, and we saw that in 2024, notably with one of our clients whose loan was sent inadvertently, in my opinion, to the U.S. Treasury for collections. We assisted her to get the loan returned from collections to the SBA. In fact, I just communicated with her a couple of days before recording this video, just a couple of days ago, and she's in the restaurant business in the Bay Area of California and said that business is good, her restaurant is thriving, and she's managing the payments. When her loan was sent by SBA to collections at the U.S. Treasury last year, she told me that she found on her credit report that the private collection agency that Treasury hired not to collect the debt, but to advise her about the debt and to attempt to get her to make a payment to Treasury, that private collection agency put the defaulted COVID loan on her personal credit report. When the loan was returned back to SBA, the private collection agency removed that collection account from the credit report, which I'm astonished with, because typically creditors put the bad stuff on your credit report and they don't take it off if you prove them wrong. In this case, they did. So bully for you. But generally speaking, a COVID loan, if you are not making payments right now, unless it goes to Treasury and unless Treasury hires a private collection agency, the federal government is not putting it on your credit report as of the day of recording this video. When you file a bankruptcy, though, if your business entity is the discharged debt, is discharging the debt in the bankruptcy, again, the discharged COVID loan will not appear on your personal credit report unless you also file a personal bankruptcy. And this is a concept we've discussed in previous videos, so I'd ask you to revisit those videos or purchase our bankruptcy guidebook. Our next comment is from Ania Azigan. I think that's it. I'm so glad to find your channel. Well, thank you, Ania. That's a nice compliment. It is very informative. Thank you. You're welcome. I took out a $50,000 COVID EIDL loan. I wouldn't have any difficulties paying off my loan if not for the fact that in March 2021, my business was shut down by the Texas Medical Board. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm 75. Oh no. I didn't have the money or energy to battle their unlawful action in court, so I lost my business and my income. Is bankruptcy my only option? I can't actually answer the question, Ania, because this is really a legal question and I'm not an attorney. But based upon my experience in the business world, my experience as a former mortgage banker whose specialty is credit, I suspect that probably bankruptcy is the only option, and I would encourage you to find an attorney very quickly and get this dealt with, because your business was forced to close through circumstances beyond your control. And I don't know, to me that seems like textbook, right out of the textbook for bankruptcy. Our next comment is from Ralph, 1815. God bless you guys. God bless you too, Ralph. Thank you for being a loyal viewer, and for those of you folks who are subscribed, we truly appreciate you and we thank you so much. If you are not subscribed, please consider doing so right now, and while you're down there hitting that little subscribe button, hit that thumbs up and like the video. When you like the video, you're telling YouTube they should share this video with other small business owners who need this information just like you. And if you need assistance with your COVID EIDL, link in the description and the pinned comment, you'll find all of the products and services we have available to assist you. And finally, we have a comment from Andrew Deck 9863. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Andrew. It is our pleasure. God, life feels like no one understands us small business owners. This loan is preventing us from growing our business. Okay, I want to talk about that last sentence, Andrew. Specifically, what about it is preventing you from growing your business? Is it because you are concerned about selling business assets to generate cash? changing ownership, bringing an investor in, borrowing money from a lender, all of those features of your business operations, you would need to interact with the SBA and in most all cases get permission from the SBA to do those things. And as a quick caution, Andrew, an SBA representative told me in 2024, if there's money on the table, the SBA is going to require you to use that money to pay back some or all of the COVID EIDL, which is an absurd requirement in my opinion. And I addressed that and how to fight it, how to fight that requirement in our EIDL resource hub. In fact, I fought it and I won twice. So you can win that argument. But if that's the issue, Andrew, you can either book a 1-hour call or purchase one of our guidebooks. But certainly, you should not be afraid of the SBA in terms of undertaking transactions that, yes, you signed a loan agreement and you are required to interact with the SBA and in most cases get permission. But that should not prevent you from growing your business by taking the actions necessary to grow your business. Now, on the other hand, Andrew, if the issue is the monthly payment, if you have not already done so, I would strongly urge you to apply for the short-term payment assistance program, which will reduce your payments by 50% for 6 months. And we created a guidebook for that if you need assistance with it. But more to the point, I would stress that you should not only apply for the short-term payment assistance, Andrew, but also as you're waiting for SBA to approve it, which now in July of 2025, we're seeing it's about 30 or 45 days for SBA to respond and with an approval or not on that request. But while you're waiting for SBA to approve you, you've got to work out a strategy on your cash flow. And I know that many business owners, their default position when things get tough is to cut expenses. And I get it. That is your primary source of immediate cash flow relief. But there are going to be some expenses that you can't reduce or eliminate, or that you can only do so for a very short period of time. And so while the dryer is spinning away in the background, because I'm doing laundry while I'm recording this video, so I don't know if you can hear that, I would encourage you to look at opportunities, Andrew, that could bring more revenue in to your business. I was a mortgage banker for 30 years. And even though I was an employee of the banks where I worked, I considered myself essentially self-employed because the banks where I worked didn't feed any business to me. I didn't work for huge companies that had TV commercials and advertising that they fed me leads. I had to go out every day and find my own leads. And I worked on 100% commission, which means if I didn't work today to find new business, then I didn't get paid 2 or 3 months from now. Okay? So Andrew, what I developed during my long mortgage career, and I worked through all kinds of difficult markets, high interest rates, recessions, the subprime meltdown. When I needed business, I found new methods. I created new methods, or I got up earlier and worked later. You have to do what it takes to go and find the additional revenue you need to help you manage your business and manage repayment of the COVID loan. If you want some advice, some inspiration on that, our other channel, Simple Sense for Small Business, Andrew, we have hundreds of videos over there about all kinds of things like marketing, inspirational ideas, basic business operations, and fundamentals that I hope will help you. And for you other folks who are watching, if you wouldn't mind jumping over there and visiting the channel, consider subscribing. And while you're at it, consider subscribing to this channel if you're not already done so. There's 2 guidebooks I want to reference as a result of today's comments that we've created. And before I tell you about those, just very quickly, all of the guidebooks that we've created, all of the videos we've created, the consulting calls we do, all of the intention here is to help improve your experience wherever possible when you have to deal with the SBA. And we have some folks who seem to complain about us selling guidebooks. I'm going to address that in a future video. There's a lot of labor of love about what Linda Ray and I do with this EIDL Experts channel. So I'd encourage you folks to at least hit the thumbs up and like the video as a very small payment for these free videos, because that will help That will help YouTube, that will tell YouTube to share this video and our other videos with other COVID borrowers who may be able to buy a product or a service from us. The two guidebooks I wanted to point to from today's comments, we created a guidebook about bankruptcy with the COVID EIDL and how to rebuild credit after a bankruptcy. And I would also encourage you to have a look at our how to find an attorney for your COVID EIDL as a third possibility. All of those you can find in the link in the description, the pinned comment below. I'm Trevor, the EIDL expert. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next video.